Which one? All right, let's look at 33. That's a very good question. What do you, is there a, that's exactly right. Yeah, all numbers are real right now. So it's definitely real. So you can be irrational and real. All right, the reason why it's irrational is because there's no pattern, right? Right, it looks like there's a pattern, 3, 2, but then 3, 3, 2, then it doesn't make sense. Right? So there's no pattern. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Nope. That's exactly the correct answer. Yes, ma'am. All right, someone else. Sorry. Tell me. All right, let's look at 22. Find the fraction in simplest form of the population that is 20 to 64. So it's just asking you to write. All right, someone else. It's okay. Tell me.
I don't think it said it was real. I mean,
yeah, I don't think it did either. But that's okay. All right, that's something everybody should know. All the numbers are real.
Number 28. Why would it be 74?
Because there are how many? Right. Right. Yeah, that's good. Yes.
I know that it's real, but when it's rational, it's just, is that rational or?
Well, can you write 0.23 as a fraction? That it's rational. That's all it is. Okay? So they gave you one example, 33 is a decimal that can't be written as a fraction. What? That is exactly correct. And 34 is pi. Very good. All right? There's no sequence to the patterns. Well, no, it's pi is, if I'm not mistaken, pi is 3.1415962. I think that's what it is, something close to that. Yeah. So the point is, it looked like pi. All right. Yes. Now, we've talked about 5/8, guys. I would like everybody in here to know the eighths. What's 5/8? Does anybody remember? 5/8? Decimal. You are awesome. Very good. 0.625. You hear me? That way it's just easier. You see what I'm saying? So we're comparing 0.625 to 0.6. So it's easier. I think comparing decimals is easier than comparing fractions. Hopefully you agree. Right. But again, that's just for the numbers that I know. Like I would want everybody to know 1/8 is what? 0.125. Right? Well, part of it is just because we're going to do 1/8 so much that you'll end up knowing it's 0.125. Right? Now, 4/8, watch this. 4/8 is 0.5. Do you agree with that? So 5/8, an easy way is just 0.625 because you just add them together. You agree with that? And that's how you can figure out that 7/8 is 0.875 because I can do 1,000 minus 125 and get 875. Right, but truly I just do it so much that I just know those. I want everybody to know 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, 7/8. Because I just didn't feel like doing the division every time I came up with those decimals. That's why I remembered it. Because I hated doing division. So things that I could remember quickly, I was able to do. What? So the question is what? Maria has a bead that is 0.6 inches long. She wants to use the bead to fill a space 5/8 inches long. Will it fit? Yeah. Because the bead is only what? 0.6 inches, and the space is 0.625 inches. The answer is yes. Agreed? What?
0.6 over 8.75.
No, 0.75. The 6/8 can reduce to 3/4.
Oh, yeah.
3/4 is that. Another way to do this, guys, please listen, because I'm really trying to help you with your number sense. All right? 1/4, please watch how cool numbers are. 1/4 is 0.25. Does everybody agree if I take a fourth and cut it in half, it's 1/8? Does everybody know that from last year? 1/4 cut in half is 1/8, right? So that's another way I remembered it. I just take 25 and cut it in half. 0.125. 25 divided by 2 is 0.125. No, that doesn't make sense? Half, if you have $25, give me half. What is that? 12.5. That's why it's 0.125. Yeah, it does make it simpler. You agree on that? All right. I'm just saying, and we're going to start talking about division of fractions, so that's a good time to talk about it. If I take half of a fourth, that should be 1/8, right? I can draw it and show you, and that's what maybe we'll do today. But again, I think it's important. I was able to figure out what these numbers are, not by dividing. All right? I didn't like to do 8 goes into 1.000. That's in my head. So I figured out other ways to try to figure it out. That's right. 2/8 is the same as 1/4. Yeah, that's right. 250 divided by 2 is 125. That's another way of looking at it. All right, so let me have your homework, guys, so we can get through today's work. All right, homework. Here we go. Remember, guys, you're allowed to go. You need to go. All right, go back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. All right, guys. Good work here. Good work here. You got work today? Thank you. Thank you very much. Good job. All right. And now let's get started with today's assignment, which is, what did I say it was? Section, what was section 1? 3.3? All right, so let's find 3-3. Okay, so here we go. 3-3. Now today, we're ready to do what with fractions? Multiply. Very good. It should be super what? It should be super easy because last year you talked about multiplying fractions. But the only difference this year, we're going to multiply positives and what? That's why it's what? Just a little bit harder. If you know that a positive times a negative is a what? Negative. And if you know a negative times a negative is a what? Then today's lesson is what?
Easy.
Super easy because you already know how to multiply fractions. You may have forgotten, which is perfectly fine. All right? But today, all we're doing is multiplying fractions. All right? Today, all we're doing is multiplying fractions. All right? It should be super easy. Super, super easy. All right? So let's take a look and see how we're doing. All right? And again, we'll do the first 12. We're not going to do the word problems today. We're going to come back and do all the word problems at the end. All right? So here we go. Who is brave and thinks they know the answer to number 1? Tell me. 7 over what?
16.
7 over 16. Anybody disagree with that? Because again, when you multiply fractions, you just multiply the what? The what's on top called?
Numerator.
The what?
Numerator.
The numerator.
I got Latin and math.
And the denominator is the bottom. So numerator and denominator. For those of you guys forget, I always tell and I'll remember this, my 6th grade math teacher told me, because I could never remember, I'm from Indiana, so Notre Dame is in Indiana, so that's how I remember. N over D. All right, numerator over denominator. Yes. No, don't do that. Nope. Nope. And I'll tell you why. The reason why is because eventually you're going to start reducing. And when you have it on a slant, it's kind of hard to see what can be reduced. All right, trust me on that. All right. It's much easier to write horizontally. All right, much easier to write horizontally. Trust me. It's much easier that way. All right. Now listen, guys. Because it's so simple, we're going to write the answer to the easy ones. I'm okay with that. Everybody agree with me? It's okay to write the answers. All right, you don't have to write it down. In a few minutes, we're not going to be able to write the answers. Okay? Because you're going to have to reduce. All right, if you remember. But right now, let's go to number 2. Number 2, everybody should be able to tell me it's just coming. 2 over what? Beautiful. 2 over 15. Beautiful. All right? And again, just write the answer. Olivia. Oh, do you remember how to handle these fractions now? Tell me what to do. Well, first of all, let's talk about this. This is saying a negative times a positive, so the answer is what? The answer is a negative. All right? Now we're going to, do you remember, Olivia, what we can do? I mean, if you wanted to, you'd go 2 times 3 and 3 times 16, but then we'd have to reduce the fraction. So we always tell kids, let's try to reduce first. Put your hands down. She's going to help me. All right? Do you remember how to reduce the fraction? Look at the numerator and the denominator. For example, I'm going to highlight this right here and this right here. We can reduce that. And we reduce that by dividing both of them by what? By, yes, right, no, I know what you meant. Dividing by 3. But do I really want you to put divided by 3 there?
No.
No, I'm just demonstrating that's what we're doing. All right? So this crosses out to a what? 1. This crosses out to a what? 1. And now what about the 2 and the 16? Let her. So if I divide by what? In other words, what number is divisible by both of those? What goes into 2 and what goes into 16? I think you're right. This can be divided by 2, and this can be divided by 2. Is that ringing a bell a little bit now? That's okay. Don't worry. We'll rest you, okay? I'll put you on the spot. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, you okay now? So now, what's 2 divided by 2? 1. And what's 16 divided by 2? Now, you see, I have to be careful because there's a lot of numbers in the way. Did I agree with that? All right, so you just have to be real careful. All right, now you just multiply the numerators together, and you get a what? And multiply the denominators together, you get a what? There you have it, -1/8. And like I said, right now, I don't mind you writing the answer down if you're just concentrating on me right now. Pay attention. Everybody good with that? All right. Let's check out number 4 now. All right. Now, I always tell kids, you should always figure out if it's positive or negative first. Then you don't have to worry about it. So this answer is going to be positive or negative? It's positive. So I don't really have to put anything down. I'm just going to make a fraction bar. All right. Now tell me what can reduce. Right? So this becomes a what? 1, and this becomes a beautiful. So my final answer is just, yes, 2 2 over 7. Is everybody okay with this? 2 over 7? 2 over 7? Everybody remember this now? 2 over 7? All right, let's check out number 5 now. Okay, now we have a problem on number 5. When we get to advanced math, we don't use what type of fractions anymore? We don't use mixed fractions. We always use what? We always use improper. So the first thing we have to do is we have to convert them to improper. Why don't you lead me?
2 times 4 plus 1 is 9, and then 1 times 1 plus 1 is 10.
So wait, what's the first fraction going to change to? This fraction is going to change to what?
9 over 2.
Negative 9 over 2. And then the next fraction is going to change to what?
Negative 10 over 9.
Right. Times negative 10 over 9. So you don't have to write the original problem. You can just convert them right off the bat to improper fraction. Everybody good with this? And now what can I do?
Now you can divide 9 by times 9 by 9. You get 1.
And then?
And then 2 divided by 2 is 1. And divided by 2 is 5.
Now, is the answer negative or positive?
The answer is positive.
Yeah, now sometimes you see when you cross things out, like I accidentally crossed out, it's hard to see both negatives, right? That's why I always try to tell kids it's better to think of what the final answer is. So what do we have here?
5 over 1.
Right, 5 over 1. And of course, we just say 5 over 1 is the same as what?
5.
5. All right, is everybody good with that? Everybody okay? All right, Michaela, why don't you help me out with number 6, kiddo? Tell me what to do. Good job. Beautiful. Can you reduce anything? No. So now we're practicing our mental math. What's 5 times? Well, the first one is a positive or negative? Right. So now you have to tell me what's 5 times 17. 5 times 10. 5 times 7. 50 plus 35. There you go. 85. Okay. What?
So sometimes I just do like I add 3 and I do 5 plus 3 is 15 and 5 plus 7 is 15.
Okay, that's perfect. I understand that way too. That's good. Now listen, guys. I said when we get to higher level math, do we do mixed fractions? No. So your answer, is this a good way to leave it?
Yes.
Yeah, in your answer, it might convert it to a what? Mixed fraction. Do I want you to convert to mixed fraction? No. Do we know how to convert to a mixed fraction?
Yes.
Yes, so that's one less thing you have to do. All right? Generally, all math, when you get to higher level math, we leave it as what? An improper fraction, not mixed. Okay, so we're going to leave our answers improper fraction. If the solution is a mixed fraction, you could just say, well, the step before that's really the answer. Okay, because when I post the answers, it might convert it. All right? So, here we go.
So if it was like 6 over 1, how do you convert?
Yeah, 6 over 1 is 6. You with me? If the fraction can be reduced, we always reduce it. All right? So now here we go. We have to do, now this is kind of showing you the algebra where I just have to do what? X times Y. Everybody agree with this? All right? So what is X? So here we go. We're going to do 14 over 15 times. Now, I wouldn't write negative 1 2/5. On my test, I used to go back and automatically change this to what? I would just convert it right off the bat, so I don't have to keep doing that. Watch. Did everybody see that? So now if I multiply that, that's going to be multiplied by what? Negative 7 over 5 like that. Do I really have to have the parentheses? No, but why do we put parentheses? Because I don't want you to think it's what? What operation might look like? Yeah, it could look like subtraction. It could look like subtraction. You see what I'm saying? That's why generally they put parentheses. And that's why generally, guys, we probably, I'm not doing dots anymore. All right? I'm just doing what? Parentheses. All right? That's generally what we do. Yes. I'm not making you do anything. I'm just telling you what I think you should be aware of. You with me on this? If you put a dot, you know, I don't care if you put a dot. You put two parentheses, I don't care if you put two parentheses. All right, now I need someone to tell me, can anything reduce here? Can anything reduce? What do you think? No, that's correct. So now we just have to tell me, is the answer positive or negative? Negative what? What's 14 times 7? That's right. Over? You're great. Negative 98 over 75. Remember, you guys, your job is now speak up if I'm not clear. Speak up if I'm not clear. That's pretty easy. Do you agree? Yeah, I don't think it's that hard. All right. Now, maybe I should do 2 more, and then we'll go to the harder ones, I think. Right? I'd rather try some of the harder ones. All right. What? I'm okay with that. Yeah, so it's all right. We're going to just, you can watch up here, right? Good. All right. I also have my iPad, you know what I mean? So if you ever need it, you can use it. All right. So Z times Z. So I think that should be mental math for us guys. Everybody tell me what number 8 is. Tell me what 8 is. What? Oh, come on, that's all right. It doesn't matter. You got 100 on your last test. That's all right. Tell me the answer about number 8. Yes, good job. You don't have to explain anything. 9 over 49 is perfect. All right, 9 over 49. What? Right? You know this. All right. Now, he was looking at number 12, so let's go take a look at number 12. All right, everybody look at number 12. What is number 12? He is correct. It was what? Yeah, but is it positive or negative? Right. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure you hear me. 7 over 3 times negative 3 over 7. I wouldn't multiply them out. What would I do first? Yeah, just cancel them out. I wish everybody here would just say, well, that's kind of silly. The 3's cancel and the 7's cancel, right? So it's just negative 1. Everybody agree with that? It's just negative 1. All right? So let's make sure you go back and do 9, 10, and 11, okay? Everybody go back and do 9, 10, 11. All right? Now let's get to the harder ones. Let's come down here. I'm going to do with you, well, I'd rather work backwards now because look how hard these are down here. Isn't this annoying, number 40? All right, look at that. No, it's not rough. What?
Are we going 1 to 40?
Well, no, that's not what the assignment is. All right? That's why it's important. I don't always just go 1 through 40 because we're skipping the word problem. The word problem's going to come back and do it.
So 1 to 40 is the word problem?
Come on, look up here. Shh. That's what we do every day to start. All right, that's why I say, go ahead, please write down the assignment. Head your paper so you know what we're doing. Well, watch this, because we're addressing that problem number 40. Agreed? All right, so here we go. So I want everybody to write down negative 9/10. Now, you guys also, if you want to put number 40 and work backwards, 39, 38, do I care? No, I don't care. You don't have to skip a space all the way to 40. Right? That doesn't make sense to me. Stay organized. Just if you number your problems, I know what you've done. Makes sense, right? All right, so here we go. Negative 9/10 times 7 over what? Times what? Say it. 7 over 3. Good job. Be loud and proud. Times 1 over 21. Now we have to figure out what can reduce, right? Anything in the numerator can reduce with anything in the denominator. Does everybody agree with that? All right, so the first thing I'm looking at is the answer. Is the answer going to be positive or negative, guys? Help me.
Negative.
Negative. Speak up, guys. Come on. Now, what can I reduce with the 9? What can I reduce with the 9? The 3, right? So this 9 crosses out, and it becomes a what? It becomes a 3. And then the 3 crosses out and becomes a what? 1. Now, what can I reduce with the 3? 3 to what? Yes, 3 and the 21 can now reduce. So I cross out this 3, make it a 1, cross out the 21, and make it a what? Come on, boys. I'm expecting you guys to be able to sit without making noises. Yes, do you agree with that? Now what can I reduce? Tell me.
7 and 7.
7 and 7. Does it matter which 7 I choose?
No.
Nope. Cross out the 7, make it a 1. Cross out the 7, make it a 1. Do I see anything else that can cancel? No. So you should be able to look at that and say the final answer is negative what? 7 over 10. How about that, guys? That's pretty easy. Go.
Another question. So is it easier to start from the positive and inside?
I have no idea. It doesn't matter where you start.
Okay.
You'll always get the same answer. If you cross out correctly, it doesn't matter what order you cross out or what numbers you cross out. It'll always be the same. You heard me. It doesn't matter what numbers you cross out first. If you cross out properly, you'll always get the same answer. Always.
How does 3 know the 7?
I didn't say that.
When the first one, it shows that 3 is the 7.
3 goes into 21, and 3 goes into 9. Okay? So here we go. What? All right, here we go. Let's check out number 39, because I think that's really as hard as it can get. All right, so if I'm looking at 39, I always like to tell kids, what's the final answer? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Do you agree? Okay. Here we go. So I need help. I want you to read the problems off, but I want you to read the fractions the way I like them. So the first one, do I have to change anything? No. So it'd be 6 over 11 times what? Over, 4 over 1. Now, why am I leaving the negatives out? Because I already know what the answer is. Yeah, the negatives don't matter anymore. All right, then what? Well, how did I get that? I know, you're okay. I know, don't worry. Yes, 11 over 4. That's why everybody's doing good. It doesn't matter, you're going to make a mistake. Times what? Yeah, I knew you know that. All right, tell me what's quickly I can cross out that comes to mind. 6 and 3, so I'm going to change the color so we can see. That 6 becomes a what? 2. And the 3 becomes a, now what can I cross out? Well, I could do that, but you see something even better? Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? I'll try to get the big ones. Right, that way I don't have to do it so much. So this just becomes a 1, and that becomes a 1. And now what else do I know? 11 and 11. So that final answer is just what? Yes, 2 over 1. You hear that? And we already said it was a what? I forgot to put it up here. 2 over 1. And of course we just say that's negative 2. Is everybody pretty happy with that? I think that's pretty good. Hold on 1 second. All right, so what time do we get out of here, guys?
11:31.
So I'm going to change it up for you guys. I'm going to give you a little bit of help tonight. All right? Because I think we're doing pretty good on this, right? It's kind of easy. All right, the repetition is important, but not that important. But tomorrow when you come to class, now this is what I'm going to do for you. we're going to do 15 through 25 odds, right? But you have to promise me you have to do what to your answers? You have to check them, guys, all right? I can't cut you a little slack if you're not going to check your work. Everybody hear me? And then I want to come down here, and these are the hard ones, so I want you to do 35 through 38 all. All right? 35 through 38. Those are the alls. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, because I forgot. I think some of the algebra problems are better. So here's, okay. Let's fix it at the top again because I'm going to change it. I forgot about 27. So here we go. I want to do 27, 29, 31, 35, and 37. I think that's fair. All right. So tonight, basically, 15 through 31 odds and 35 and 37. I don't care how you write it. Okay. So here we can fix this to 31. 15 through 31, and then 35 and 37. You don't even have to go back and do the ones we skipped above. Tell me again, 15 through 31, odds, 35 and 37. Is everybody good with this? And then, like I said, you must check. When you walk in the room tomorrow, you say, I checked my work, and I didn't have any problems. Or you walk in and say, I checked my work, but I didn't know how to get this one. No. Don't have to do those because I gave you some of the algebra problems to do. Okay? Yes. I'm totally in agreement with you on that. That's the way I would do it too. I would check my hard problem. Okay? That's easier. Then you kind of really know if you know what you're doing. All right, guys, get to work on that.